Good morning, everybody. So, I just want to do a bit of an update. For those who haven't followed my TikTok or watched my previous video on YouTube, my husband is currently in the hospital recovering from a stroke. He's making a lot of great progress. Like, literally, from the moment he got to the hospital, they got him that special treatment, thrombic something. They put a hole somewhere in his body. I'm trying to be very discreet here because obviously it's personal in nature. I never know what information is acceptable to share with people. Even if somebody might be a professional, you never know how they're going to receive that information. So I've been raised to be afraid of any possible thing I can say to anybody for any reason in any context. So I never know. And especially on YouTube, you never know what can be taken out of context. But it's a procedure that puts a hole somewhere in his body that I would not think you would put the hole in to get to the brain. And they use this entry point to get to the brain to suction the clot from his brain. Anyway, since he got to the hospital, he has been showing a lot of steady improvement. He has been answering the questions really well, responding to the nurse's instructions favorably. He got up to use the bathroom on his own, mostly on his own. He had to use a walker to get from the bed to the bathroom, and a nurse had to follow him to make sure he didn't fall. He is currently staying in the neuroscience ward, which is where the brain surgery and stroke patients recover. And he is probably going to be going to inpatient surgery. He is probably going to be going to an inpatient rehab facility. I'm not sure exactly when, but there are a couple more milestones he has to hit. But he wants to go to the one that's close to home. He wants to go to the one where he works. He works, as I've told you, as I've said before, he is a CNA or an LNA. LNA, CNA, it's the same thing. Just depends on what state you're in. The place where he currently works, he was working in the activities department. But the point is, he has coworkers there, he has friends and family there, and it's right in town, so it would be easy for me to get up and visit him. Now, my niece she's a nurse, and she has experience with stroke patients, so she knows all of the technical stuff. She knows all of the jargon, all of the medical information. It's a really quick and easy reminder that nurses do practice medicine. A nurse may not be a doctor, but they still practice medicine. They still have to know medical stuff. They still have to know how to do all those procedures and everything. They still have to be certified, everything. So my niece knows what she's talking about. She knows what they're doing, she knows all that. She knows all that stuff. So I definitely need her. I need her on board to help me because, of course, my husband basically raised them. Okay, my nieces and my nephews. Their mother is the one who passed away a couple of years ago, shortly after her 59th birthday, and my husband basically raised them from childhood. He was very much a parent figure in their lives, and so I've been kind of working overtime trying to make sure everybody's up to date on his progress. And they've been calling him. There is a bit of concern because he's been sending texts that are, the best way I can describe it is gibberish. And my niece thinks that might be a sign of aphasia. But it's not uncommon after a stroke to have difficulty with writing and communicating through text and through writing. Verbally, he hasn't had any problems. He's not showing any signs of memory issues. He walked me through how to get a new fish into the fishbowl, and he's been 99% coherent, 99%. His memory is intact. But obviously, it's a stroke. There's going to be some brain damage. There is going to be some stuff that we have to adapt to and we have to overcome. I mean, if strokes were easy things to recover from, Queen Victoria would have lived probably into her 90s. I don't know. My grandmother had a stroke, and she was actually a resident at the facility where my husband was working. He was actually her CNA in her final days. She didn't die of the stroke, but like that was her final resting place. It was the place where she died, and he was her CNA. This is before I met him, so I kind of secretly believe that she set us up. Like, maybe sometimes it's hard. I don't fully believe in the afterlife. I don't fully believe in religion or God and all that stuff, but it's in my vulnerable moments, I like to imagine that my grandmother set us up, but I don't want to go into that right now. It does worry me a tiny bit that he's going to be at the same facility, but that's just a superficial thing. He is going to, it's his decision ultimately. He has enough wherewithal to know where he wants to go. Now, there is a rehab facility in Schenectady that my niece and I both agree would be the best place for him because they specialize in stroke recovery. And ultimately, it's his decision. It would be hard for me to get to Schenectady, but I would make it work. And I want what's best for him. But as his husband, I also have to support his decisions. It's one of those, there's always going to be times that I'm going to there's always all right. Sorry, I don't mean to keep doing this. When you're married, I have to believe there are times when you have to make a decision for your spouse's well-being without their consent. There are going to be certain, like, all right, look, if we had shown up at the hospital and he was completely out of it and he was unable to give his consent legally, I would still have to give consent on his behalf as I am his spouse. So it's one of those things, it's a slippery slope. Like, you're not making all their decisions, but there are some decisions you have to make. Now, if he was not of sound mind and body, I would 100% insist that he goes to Sunnyview. But because he has the wherewithal to make the decision about where he wants to go, I've got to support him in that. And of course, he's, if it turns out to be the wrong decision, well, look, we all make decisions that we can't know how every decision is going to play out. My niece's husband is a pastor, and again, maybe I don't necessarily believe or follow religion, but he's right in the fact that you can't plan for everything. You can't know how every decision is going to play out. You can make the most informed decision possible. You can have all the facts lined up. You can make the right decision. It doesn't mean the decision is going to work out. So if he wants to come back to Bennington, I fully support that. I would definitely prefer to be able to walk up to the facility where he is at to visit him and spend time with him. And if he is in a place where he is comfortable, where he is surrounded by people who love him, that might go a long way towards his recovery. I had another argument with somebody. Well, I almost had an argument. And this is one of those things where I wish certain people would stop treating me like I'm stupid. I know I don't have the best confidence in myself, but I'm working hard and trying. Now, I can't remember if I said this in YouTube or just in TikTok, but one of the things I am going to be doing, and one of the things that I am going to push myself to do, is do some things that I've never done before. Because we still have a lot of stuff to do in this trailer. There are a lot of improvements we have to make. And then the majority of it is going to be do it yourself, because that's going to be, in the long run, a lot cheaper than having to pay somebody to do it. And Michael has been doing the majority of the DIY stuff, but now there are some things he's just not going to be able to do, at least not right away, and at least not with a lot of effort. So, all right, for example, the laundry room right now, we want to put some wallpaper up. So he might not be able to do that, but I am going to, I have asked him, listen, when we're ready to do that, I want you to walk me through it, tell me what to do. He can supervise, he can sit there and watch while I do it. And I'm going to try as hard as I can to follow his directions, to understand what he's saying. And I'm going to try to follow them exactly. And I'm going to try to do exactly what he tells me to do. And I think that's going to be a learning exercise for both of us. I'm going to learn how to do a thing, and he's going to learn how to be patient and teach somebody. That's going to be, and hey, that's content right there. That's a content project right there. Now, I've told two people this, and even Michael has said, well, it's not going to be easy. Like, I didn't expect it was going to be easy. I didn't volunteer to do it because it's going to be easy. But I told a friend this, and she's like, well, it's not going to be easy. And she told me all the things that can go wrong. And I said, yes, I'm aware of that. I'm learning how to do this. I'm going to be learning how to do this. So yes, I'm probably going to make some mistakes. I didn't expect it to be easy. But she's like, well, why don't you just tell him you're not comfortable doing this? I'm like, I offered to do this. I'm sure I said it when I explained it to her. I'm sure I said that I am deciding to do this. I didn't say that he is asking me to do this. I didn't say he was pressuring me to do this. Nobody is putting a pew pew to my head. Sorry, TikTok speak. But I am offering to do this. And she's like, she keeps being negative. She keeps saying, oh, but you don't know how to do this. I know I don't know how to do this. You don't know how to do this. It's going to be very hard. It's not going to be easy. Why don't you just tell him you're not comfortable doing this? Why would I tell him I'm not comfortable doing something I have volunteered to do? Why wouldn't I just save time and not do it? And I just I shut her down by saying, I've made my decision. I made the decision. And of course she had to do that downward eye roll thing. I don't know any other way to describe it. And the thing is, I can't be mad at this person because they have agreed to let me put a tip jar in their shop so that I can try to collect a little bit of money for expenses. It's the best thing I can do right now. It's just a side thing, and every single thing I collect will go towards helping Michael, paying for anything that insurance doesn't cover, and for trying to get some bills paid when my own job and when my own resources aren't going to come through. I'm just like, I don't know. It's frustrating sometimes because, again, there are people that just don't treat me like an intelligent human being. And then everybody wonders where I have confidence issues. Because as soon as I say something like this, somebody will shit on it. And I'm like, why would I be confident in myself if all anybody can do is shit on anything I say? It's like, why can't people just praise me or encourage me? I am doing a thing to help my husband. I am doing a thing to not be a deadbeat husband. I am trying to do a thing to be a productive member of this family unit. And all a person can do is shit on it. Like, why can't they just say, good luck? Good luck. You don't have to agree that it's the right thing. Just be supportive, but don't be negative. Don't shit on it. And the reason why I'm doing this, which she didn't seem to understand, is that, okay, he is recovering from a stroke. Okay. He is going to be as motivated as possible, but it will help if I am motivated as well. I have to be motivated as well. And if we make progress in this trailer, he is going to have a positive frame of mind, and that's going to go a long way. Again, it's going to go a long way to his recovery. Having something to do, having a positive thing and a positive goal to work towards is going to help him improve. And saying something like, I'm not willing to do this until I'm comfortable, that's not going to help him, because if he could do it himself, he would. He cannot do it. So yes, I am going to learn how to do these things. Other people are going to help. There are going to be some things I can't learn to do. There are going to be some things I have a hard time learning to do. And we have other family members who can help us with those things. But I think that is the best course of action for both of us, to have a positive frame of mind to go forward. I think I just cut myself. Wonderful. All right, I better end this before some blood shows. All right. So once again, I'm going to put my Cash App and my Venmo in the bio below. I am not e-begging. If you are unable or unwilling to donate, I fully respect that and I fully appreciate that. You can also subscribe to my Patreon for a couple of dollars a month. All of the money I raise right now is going to go towards making ends meet while Michael is unable to work. It's also going to go towards all the expenses associated with his recovery. I can't do a GoFundMe right now because it's going to make certain people upset. Just understand, I know what I am doing. I have made this decision. I am tiptoeing on eggshells around a lot of people. So right now, Venmo and Cash App are the most discreet ways I can do this. And putting those jars up. There's my friend at the discount store, and my cousin is going to get in contact with the owner of a restaurant where my husband and I sometimes meet the family for breakfast. And they're going to put a tip jar or donations thing out. So, it's not going to pay all the bills, but even a few dollars a month, even a few dollars can make such a difference. And this is not, look, it's not e-begging, okay? I have a job and I have a source of income, but everybody needs a little help once in a while, and this is what I'm asking for. That's the only thing I'm asking for, is for help. I know there are services out there. Please don't flood my comment section with comments like, well, there are services out there and there are things that can help you. Yes, I know that, and I'm also reaching out for assistance. Okay, I'm doing everything I can. All right. Thanks once again for listening to me. Thanks for watching this. Everybody have a great day. Be safe. Treat each other with dignity and respect.